Breadcrumbs are a staple ingredient for a Betty. This dessert was created during American colonial times and is made with layers of sweetened and spiced fruit and budded breadcrumbs. At everyday food, we use fresh breadcrumbs in the filling and as a topping for our apple brown Betty. I'm starting with 5 slices, which is about 4 ounces of just white bread with the crust. And just tear it into the food processor. If you don't have white bread, you can pretty much use just about anything as long as it's on the white side. You don't want to use a dark bread. And just pulse this. We want very coarse crumbs. The coarser the crumb, the more texture you're going to have in the Betty. That looks great. Okay. Now, I don't have anything here. No butter, no parchment. Just the sheet pan. And you want to toast these, so they add a little bit of crunch to the topping of the Betty. And just spread them out. Try to get them into a single layer. Now, this is going into a 375-degree oven, and it should take about 8 to 10 minutes. Just want to make sure that it's nice and brown and evenly colored. Now you can see I have some breadcrumbs that are already done, and the reason why we dry out the breadcrumbs is so they can absorb some of the liquid that's going to come from the apples. If these breadcrumbs weren't dry, then it would just become a soggy mess. So while the breadcrumbs cool, we're going to make our filling. You need 2½ pounds of gala apples. First, you want to peel them, core them, and then cut them into 1/2-inch thick slices. We're going to add 1/3 cup of dark brown sugar. You can use light brown sugar, but the molasses in here really gives it kind of an old-fashioned taste. Okay, and then 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Now, gala apples are usually small and they give off less moisture. You can also substitute Red Delicious or Golden Delicious for this recipe. 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg and 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. That's about 1/2 of a lemon. Just give that a little bit of a roll. Cut. Squeeze this right over the top. I'm just going to toss this and try to coat everything with the lemon juice. After the apples are mixed, we're just going to toss the breadcrumbs with 4 tablespoons of melted butter. When that Betty bakes, that butter is going to help those crumbs become nice and buttery and crispy again. So just take the butter and drizzle it over the pan and just give it a toss. 1/2 of these breadcrumbs are going to go into the mixture. So just eyeball about 1/2. Okay. Fold that in. Okay, so that's about 1/2 of the breadcrumbs in here. The other 1/2 is going to go on the top. So here I just have a shallow baking dish. And just pour those apples in. It's not buttered, no reason to. Making sure that you get all of those juices on the bottom and all of the breadcrumbs. And then just finish topping them off with the rest of the breadcrumbs. To help these apples cook, we're going to cover it with aluminum just so they start to exude all of their juices. And then we're going to take off that aluminum so that it gets crisp on top. My oven is still heated to 375 degrees from the breadcrumbs. And this is going to bake for about 40 minutes. And then remove that foil and bake it for 10 to 15 minutes more until the top is golden brown. You can serve brown Betty with vanilla ice cream, but here's something that's a little different and equally as delicious. Combine a pint of thick-style Greek yogurt with 3 tablespoons of clover honey. You'll find that this combination is nice and tangy and sweet and a perfect combination for the Betty. The aromas and flavors of our apple brown Betty just can't be beat. And you'll love how quick and simple it is to prepare. Baking fruit desserts is easy and deliciously rewarding.